United Delta Yokohama Rudy, and we're located here in the eastern part in the mountains at about 20-25 kilometers north and northeast from capital city in the Principality Liechtenstein, but we're on the Swiss side in the Swiss mountains on the border. So that's about the story here. Fantastic, very interesting, Doll. What's about the radio power? I think that's very good for a QFP station. By the way, a beautiful morning here. The temperature is not too hot. We have a 21 degrees, a lovely wind, and I have listened in the broadcasting. Today was come rain from France and storm in the next days, HR. Papa American number 3, Bravo Charlie India in QRP. This is Hotel Baker 9, Canada, Lima. Come in, Doll.
Das ist, du weißt mich ja zu finden. Der 6LD, Mikrofon zu dir, Hermann, und alle anderen.
А depois aqui é talvez a 100 km. Depois de mim.
J'ai entendu une prochaine fois là. Je vous retourne le micro pour vous écouter au final. Sierra Papa, barre de fraction, Fox 4, Hôtel Papa X-Ray là. J'espère avoir...
Pronto, está destinado assim.
Это радио Жук, тройка, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. Роман Жук, тройка, Дмитрий, Мария, Елена, прием. Всем на 20, радио Жук, тройка, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. Роман Жук, тройка, Дмитрий, Мария, Елена, прием.
Леонид, Зоя-1, центр.
Леонид, Зоя, 1, центр. Радио Жук, тройка, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. Здравствуйте. Добрый день. Рапорт 59. Меня зовут Виктор. Кютейш мой город Серпухов. Виктор в городе Серпухове. Это 100 километров южнее города Москвы. Как приняли в Болгарии прием?
Здравствуйте, Виктор. Доброе утро. Счастья для ваше семейство. Я Люба, Зоя-1, 2 центра, тоже 5-9, город София, столица Болгарии, город София, а мое имя Асо, Александр, Сергей, Ольга. Как приняли, Виктор? Люба, Зоя-1, 2 центра.
Да, принято отлично. Асо. Так, секундочку, сейчас я ваши данные внесу в свой электронный журнал. Так, Асо, София. Асо отлично принял, отлично. Хорошо, станции более-менее стабильно проходят, нормально принимай. Хотя прохождение очень плохое. У меня на диапазоне почти ни одной станции нет. Леонид, Зинаида 1, центр. Радио Жук, тройка, Дмитрий, Мария, Елена. Асо, большое спасибо, первое КИОСО с вашей станции. До этого не встречались. Вопросов нет, погода хорошая. Удачи вам, здоровья на Болгарии. 73, всего доброго, до свидания.
Радио Жук, тройка, Дмитрий,
Попробуй.
Мария, Елена. Я Люба, Зоя-1, 2 центра, Виктор, все принял. Ну что же сказать, в Болгарии очень жарко. Вчера была сильная буря, шторм был город София только 1,5 часа, и дождь был, град был, но сейчас очень жарко. Температура сейчас 32, метеорологическая станция сказала, что сейчас И завтра будет 39 градусов город София. Очень жарко. Прошу извинения, Виктор, хорошо не говорю по-русскому. У меня 100 ваттом трансивер есть, 100 ваттами антенна депо. Очень жарко, к сожалению. Ну, для вашим семействам желаю счастья, здоровья. И дай Бог, снова встретимся в эфире. Радио Жук-3, Жук Мария Елена, Виктор Дмитрий Мария Елена, извините, я Люба Зоя-1, 2 центра.
Леонид Зинаида, 1, центр, радио Жук, 3, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. У нас тепло, конечно, не так жарко, как у вас, но тепло. Дождя сегодня не было, вчера утром был АСО. АСО, здесь мой сосед хочет с вами сработать. Послушайте, пожалуйста, еще одну станцию, буквально с моей улицы подойдет мой сосед. КИУСО проведите с ним.
Спасибо, Витя. Люба Зоя, 1, центр. Приглашает Роман Николай, 3, Дима Василий. Радио Наташа, 3, Дима Василий. АСО принимали, например?
На 5-6 на прием.
Ага, понятно. 5-7 я принимаю, 5-7, Владимир в Серпухове. 5-7, Серпухов, Владимир. И микрофон ведущий.
Леонид Зинаида, 1, 2 центра, радио Жук, 3, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. АСО, спасибо большое за встречу, за знакомство. Со мной, с моей группой, вопросов нет. Удачи, здоровья на Софию. 73 дружеские. Всего доброго, удачи, до свидания, пока.
До свидания, я Миша. Я Миша. Прошу извинения, Миша, потому что диапазон очень большой шум идет. Очень большой шум идет на диапазон. Весь диапазон 18, 21, 24, никакое прохождение, к сожалению. Ну, для Миша и Виктор желаю вам счастья для вашим семейства. Я Люба Зоя 1, 2 центра.
Леонид Зинаида, 1, центр, радио Жук, 3, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. АСО, кто-то даже немножечко мешает, а шумит диапазон точно так же, как у вас. Прохождение отвратительное, плохое, и диапазон сильно шумит. Ну вот наши комплименты вам, наши комплименты. Все-таки мощность небольшая, антенна диполь у вас, и так хорошо вас слышно. При таком прохождении вы должны идти на грани пропадания, но у вас достаточно громко слышно. Все-таки 100 Вт без усилителя и диполек простой. Хорошо, может быть, этот диполек где-то на горе расположен, поэтому такой эффект хороший. Или здание высокое. Всего доброго, АСО. До свидания. 7-3, пока.
До свидания, Виктор. У меня трансивер ЕСУ, Фокс Танго 757, 757 GX, 100 ваттов, антенна депо G5FV. Депо сидит только 8 метров над землю. Но я имею возможность на высокой антенне. Очень старенький депо. Я думал, что в 65 году начал работать с этим депо. Ну, до свидания, друзья. Прежде всего, счастья и здоровья. Я Люба Зоя 1, 2 центра.
Хорошо, спасибо, АСО, спасибо. 73, удачи на Болгарию. До свидания, пока.
До свидания.
В диапазоне 20 метров. Диапазон 20 метров. Роман Жук, 3, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. Всем на 20-метровым. РЖ-3 ДМЕ, прием.
Роман Антон, 7 Антон.
Радио Анна 7, Анна. Радио Жук, 3, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. Здравствуйте. Так, здравствуйте. Компьютер подсказывает Иван. Добрый день. Рапорт 5.9. Громко подошли. До плюс 10 децибел. Плюс 5, плюс 10 децибел. Неустойчивое прохождение. Даю плюс. Может быть, сейчас сравняется с 9 баллами Иван. 5-9 плюс. Виктор в Серпухове. Прием.
Здравствуйте. РЖ-3 Дмитрий, Мария Елена, Растеманна. Виктор, добрый день. 5-9 плюс 10-15 децибел. Сигнал фидингует, но тем не менее громко. Принимаю и слышно, видимо, вентилятор там работает. Когда сигнал плюс уходит, то он вентилятор очень громко слышен. Иван Говоричинский, РЖ3 ДМЕ, Рахиман на прием.
Да-да. Подставил я, перенес данные в свой журнал, вижу. Хотя первые QSO, ну вот первую станцию встречаю, чтобы полные данные были. Вот у вас они есть. Правда, у меня украинский журнал, у R5 Елена Щука-Федор. Вот читаю, даже ваш телефон есть, что давно не встречал в этом аппаратном журнале. Радио Анна Сейманна, радио Жук, тройка, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. Вентилятор присутствует в усилителе, иначе, значит, объем маленький этого ящичка, где усилитель, корпус маленький, а лампы стоят мощные, ВК-71. Сильно греются, поэтому приходится выдувать лишнее тепло оттуда. Иначе даже были моменты, паечки отпаивались в анодной цепи вам. Радио Анна Сейманна, РЖ3 ДМЕ. 10-15 децибел плюса. И просьба, Иван, послушайте моего соседа, Владимир подойдет буквально с моей улицы.
Ага, спасибо, Вик. Радио Наташа 3, Дима Василий, Роман Николай 3, Дима Василий. Иван, принимаете на прием?
Да, конечно. РМ3 Дима Василий, Роман Антон, 7 Антон. Владимир. Прекрасно, добрый день. Мы с вами уже встречались, циферблок показывает 9 баллов, но послабее я вас принимаю. Вот. Но, тем не менее, сигнал громкий, прием.
Да, я тоже принимаю 5-9 плюс 10 децибел. Владимир в Серпухове. От меня здоровья, хорошего дня и Виктору микрофон.
Радио Анна Сейманна, радио Жук, тройка, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. Большое спасибо, Иван, за встречу, за знакомство. Вопросов нет. Удачи и здоровья на Белореченск. Наши всем три дружеские. Всего доброго, удачи, до свидания, пока.
Понятно, Виктор. Спасибо за дружеские пожелания, Владимир, спасибо. Ну, здесь 200 ватт, 3 элемента яги на высоте 20 метров в вашем направлении. Температура плюс 39 за окном. Вот, очень жарко. У нас вчера 40, сегодня еще все впереди. Вот, ну, будем надеяться, что это скоро закончится. Всего доброго, ребят, до свидания. РН3 Дмитрий Василий, РЖ3 ДМЕ, Рахиманна, пока.
Да-да, ну 26 показывает, 26. Мой китайский термометр, метеостанция цифровая. Так что вот такая у нас сегодня температура. Дождей шла со вчерашнего утра. Вчера утром сильный дождь был. Погода вроде бы последние недели 2 неплохая стоит. А так, конечно, 2 первых месяца летние были дождливые и холодные. Удачи вам, здоровья, всего доброго, пока, до свидания.
Спасибо, Виктор. Ну, я еще забыл сказать, что я тоже использую чатики от Владимира Лог покойного. Так что все в порядке. Всего доброго, до свидания.
Нет, вот сколько ко мне не подходит, 36 тысяч станций. 36 тысяч QSO, не станции, а QSO. Станции гораздо меньше, некоторые по 20, по 30 раз QSO проводил. И вот только у вас полная фамилия, имя, отчество и остальные данные. Ни одной станции больше с таким полным объемом данных нет. Ну, наверное, вы сами так внесли, что очень полезно. Раньше было, потом почему-то все это прекратилось. Позывной только имя и все. Всего доброго, Иван. Пока, до свидания.
Всего доброго, до свидания.
Я по зоне 20. Роман Жук, тройка, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. 20 метров. РЖ3 ДМЕ, прием. Вот 3 буквы последних только я сумел принять. Анна, Михаил, Зоя. Анна, Михаил, Зоя. Давайте попробуем префикс ваш принять. Прием. Да-да. Радио Жук-6, Анна, Михаил, Зинаида. Радио Жук, тройка, Дмитрий, Михаил, Елена. Здравствуйте, Александр. Добрый день. Рапорт 5-7 на вашу станцию. 5-7. Меня зовут Виктор, город Серпухов. Виктор Петрович, город Серпухов. Как приняли? Александр, прием.
Victor Kilo Ontario.
Eco Alfa 5 Papa Charlie Hotel Fox 2017 Tango Sierra Radio Beck.
Roger Marco, mi nombre es Juan, Juliet Unifor Alfa November y mi ciudad Valencia. Roger?
Sí, QSL 100% Valencia y Juan. Ok, gracias per il contatto, per chiamare. Eco Alfa 5 Papa Charlie, Hotel Fox 2017 Tango Sierra Radio. 73, mi amigo.
73, saludos desde Valencia y muchos contactos. Chao, chao.
Sí, gracias. Please again. Delta Juliet 0 Alpha Quebec question mark. Please again. Chyba proszę bardzo, tak?
Tak, po polsku. Hotel. Piątką, dziewiątką i imię zakłócenia
No tu mam problem, Kazimierz. Odebrani. Znak, no też nie bardzo mi tutaj w ucho, no słabiutko, trochę słabo to leci. Dorota Janina 0, Adam Szkółek i znak zapytania. No niestety ostatnie litery. Powtórz jeszcze raz sufiks.
Very polite way. They don't say you have a bad memory or you're forgetful. They say you were preoccupied. Preoccupied, which is also a possibility that you just had your mind on something else. Now, the question I asked you from Ireland there, or from Europe, I suppose, from Western Europe, certainly from Ireland, I'm wondering if you use the direct path over Canada, or do you go the long path through Asia? I wonder which one seems to work better for you when you work into Alaska. As I say, I don't think I've ever worked into Alaska. Yesterday I was on the air on 40 meters, and I heard an old friend of mine, you may know him, Paul, IN3LQB in Rovereto near the Lake of Garda in Italy. He's my neighbor in the Italian Alps next door. And they've had terribly warm weather there, temperatures above 40 degrees. So he has the mountains. He packed up the car, took a transceiver with him, and put up an easy military antenna. I'd never heard of them before, but it looks like quite a nice portable antenna, very simple to use. And he was putting in a very, very good signal. They're running 100 watts off the car battery into that antenna. Sometimes the propagation shifted, and he almost lost him. But then he was up again till to 20 over 9. We don't hear him much on 20 meters anymore because we're too close. But he was coming through really nicely yesterday on 40 meters up there in the mountains where it was only 20 degrees. So he was cooling off. He was using nature's own tower at 2,000 meters and nature's own air conditioning. As far as the knobs and everything on the modern transceivers, well, that's the way I feel. I don't need all those knobs. Excuse me. I do well enough with what I have. I don't feel the need for any more gimmicks and gadgets and whistles. Now, as far as the preamplifiers are concerned, well, I notice that there is a trend of people sometimes saying that's without or with or without the preamplifier. The funny thing about the ICOM 735 preamplifier is that it's really, if you look at the specifications, it's really part of the normal receiver. When you put the preamplifier in, you're getting the normal specifications. So what you're doing, if you don't use the preamplifier, it's in a way a kind of attenuator. I do have an attenuator as well, which I have never ever used on this radio. But I had this thing up at the repair shop once near Zurich. I took it along, and I talked to the technician there, and we were looking at something. There was an adjustment that had to be made, and I couldn't find it. And I said, well, gee, while the box is open, let's have a look at it and make a couple of measurements. And with the receiver's preamplifier switch in, S9 is exactly 50 milliwatts. 50 milliwatts, which is the international standard. That's the normal accepted standard. S9 should be 50 milliwatts, and or microvolts. 50 microvolts. What am I talking about? Milliwatts. Microvolts. 50 microvolts. So I get exactly 50 microvolts at S9 with the preamp switched in. So in other words, in terms of the ICOM 735 at least, the designer is expected to use it all the time. If I take it out, the signals go down 10 dB. That's logical enough. But I don't notice a dramatic difference in the noise level. Maybe because I don't have a great noise level here. But I tend to leave it just switched in, frankly. It helps with some of the weak stations. As you say, there's a lot of QRP stations and other weak stations that call in, and eventually you wind up switching it in anyway, at least. That's why I just leave it switched in. EI4, the question again was long path or short path when you beam Alaska. EI4 IT HB9ASQ.
The only predator we have around here is the tax man. I guess your neck of the woods as well, the I-4 IT HB9ASQ. Oh boy, they've got the wildlife up in Alaska, and in fact, it's one of the last places in the United States where it really is the wild Northwest there. Not too many people. A lot of rugged woodsman work. I like to go up there. It's for people who enjoy nature and seclusion. They don't want to be in the big city. That's the place to go. Well, as far as the people complaining from Europe is concerned, well, that's typical, because the Europeans, by and large, are not rag chewers. If you just tune around the bands over here, being located in Central Europe, all of this 5-9 bye-bye handshake garbage, they think that that's what ham radio is all about. They're not steeped in rag chewing. They have no idea that that was the origin of amateur radio, was to make friends and have rag chews. And fortunately, I say fortunately, in the United States and North America, you still get people who enjoy rag chewing, like this fellow in Alaska. That's the way it used to be years ago. And I'm like you. If I talk to a station which is very exotic, or just happen to pick up, I don't participate in pile-ups or anything. I just tune over them. But if I should by chance pick up somebody, some exotic station in the Middle East or something like that, they're not much rag chewers anyway, as a rule. So I will realize that they're very popular, and we'll try to keep it short. But if you're talking to an American station, it's not your obligation to get off the chair just so somebody, some certificate chaser can come in there. That's maybe their idea of amateur radio, but it's not mine. You don't have to talk for hours, although I remember talking to, I think it was Trinidad and Tobago or something, or Barbados or something like that, fairly exotic, down in the Caribbean on 12 meters one time. We had a rag chew going there for about an hour, you know. Nobody complained, and we just had a nice time talking and chatting. As far as, pardon me, this German station is concerned, Tom, Bravo, Oscar, or Blue Ocean, as he calls it. Some people call it body odor. He has friends and enemies. There's a certain amount of controversy surrounding him. First of all, he does tend to talk a lot, but there's nothing wrong with that. I talk a lot too, but in my hearing of his station, he tends to do a lot of promotion of his products, and I don't think that's really appropriate for amateur radio. I mean, obviously everybody knows who he is, but he beats the drum a little bit too loud, which has caused some controversy or some criticism from some people, especially in Germany. EI4IT, HB9ASQ.
When I broke into here, Bob, I was hoping that one thing is good, the other thing is 2 days in the past. Very heavy stuff, they all do. Yes, the kind of best day. Today's broke a day just on at the heat full. Over 60 degrees in the cancer, a bit stronger than heat. We're feeling guilty, Bob, about so now it's early on. The 8th of August, you should be having to
I think there's a little of that sometimes. EI4IT HB9ASQ. Well, I do the same thing. I tune around and hear somebody who's very often you hear it on 40 meters, occasionally on 20 meters, somebody calling over and over again. And after a while, you give them a call, and sometimes it turns out to be a very interesting contact. While other times it turns out to be a bit boring. All he wants is a signal report and bye-bye, which I don't appreciate. But I guess it's like fishing. You never know who you're going to pull up on the hook. Anyway, I can't complain. I don't call CQ. I know you call CQ all the time. But I've basically stopped calling CQ because I have my own reasons, and sometimes you only want, you get somebody back, and all they want is a signal report. Thanks for the short contact, 7344, whatever it is, and I'm not interested in that. And anyway, I just tune around and listen for stations. I very often wait for them to get into contact with somebody so I can hear, what kind of operator they are. Maybe I sound very snobbish. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm very picky and choosy. But, I just like to chat with somebody for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be a 1-hour contact all the time, but a few minutes, Everybody can exchange a little bit of information, their name, where they live, their antenna, their equipment, what the weather is like. You don't have to get involved in rocket science and deep technology and deep philosophy. Just a little chit-chat is what I'm looking for. And so I sort of vet the station before I call. Sometimes you get a feeling for a way somebody calls a CQ that, what kind of station they are. Like yourself, you can tell right away that you're a rag chewer. It's just the way you call. As far as North America is concerned, I haven't heard anything, and I, of course, don't go looking for them, especially in the evening. I'm basically a daytime operator because of my lifestyle here and the way we run the house. But in the afternoons, I do tune around hoping to hear some North Americans on, but there's been nothing. I heard a Victor Echo 9 with a recorded ID over and over, obviously trying to break into or break through a pileup or something, but he wasn't calling CQ. Maybe I should try a CQ North America. I think you're allowed to do that. But I think the propagation just hasn't been there. You've done very well. I totally agree with you about having to turn heat on in August. I mean, we're not at that point here, but but the temperature is supposed to get up into the mid-20s. But August, July and August should be in the 30s normally or close to it. But it's been unseasonably cool here, as a matter of fact. And tomorrow should be nicer again. It should be mainly sunny. Well, excuse me, John. I'm going to say 73, I don't want to occupy you too long. There are others probably would like to talk to you, and I'm sure you'd like to put out a couple of more CQs. Oh, by the way, 340 degrees you mentioned. I have a printout from Swiss Radio International. I was able to rescue one of these. A very handy Great Circle and Distances from Switzerland map. It's a very handy size, and it shows me the beam directions. And from Bern, it depends. Central Alaska, they indicate 350 degrees here. So that's pretty close to what you're using. It depends what part of Alaska you're going to, of course. But 350 is what I see on my chart, but 340 will probably do it for you as well. I wish you good operating, good rag chewing, good DXing, whatever you're in the market for. Nice that we could hear you on. It's always a pleasure, John. And I'll pass it over to you for a final. Incidentally, I know you're a tea drinker, but there's an old remedy for natural remedy for asthma, and that is coffee. There's something in coffee which relieves the spasms. It's an old natural recipe, and the other thing, if you have congestion during the night, the old remedy they use here, apparently it's old folk medicine and it works. You cut up a raw onion and put it next to your bed, next to the pillow. And I don't know, you might not like the smell, but apparently it opens up the chest. I've done that when I had a bad cold, and it actually works. So, John, over to you. 73 to you. We'll stand by for your final. Then wish you a good day. Maybe we'll head down to 40 and see if anything's down there. Or maybe up to or down to 178. See if my friend Gary in Minsk is on. EI4IT, always a pleasure, John. HB9ASQ. Wishing you well. Wishing you good DX. 73. Standing by for your final. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah, okay, well, they come in, I was on it, we were to try everything. We'll be very often up in there and fix the tiger off of there, the few acts that the police on there, the wooders, you're driving with I only come on to talk to people. He was a nice gentleman you could have met there. So I'd shown him he said something, and I remembered it about a week later when it was, but I can't remember this morning when it was, Bob. I can't remember what he said to me there. But anyway, I just went back and said I didn't come on the radio, for a consultation. He just come on and talk on the radio. But after that, Bob, I settled down and we had a contact. We talked for about 15 or 20 minutes. So, Bob, it's doing you there. That was really looking for you. HB9ASQ, EI4IT, thanks, Bob.
Okay, John. Well, excuse me, you handled that well. So in the end, he settled down. Unfortunately, some Germans, not all, some of the many German stations are very friendly and interesting people, but some of them, I don't know, are not very diplomatic, let's put it that way. It's maybe because of the language, that it's a very direct language. It can be subtle, but it's not as subtle and gentle a language as English. English is much more diplomatic, and very often, as they say, things get lost in translation. They use a word which maybe is appropriate in German, but it means something different in English. It's a problem. It's one of the problems of communication within Europe. That's the way it is. Not everyone speaks English so well, even though they may sound like they speak good English. There's a different. They run on a different software, John. They run on a different software. Okay, take care, friend, and we'll catch you again soon, I'm sure. And if I remember, you said the other day that we had 61 contacts. Well, this one is either 62 or 63 now. EI4IT, HB9ASQ. Have a great day. Bye-bye, John, and good luck with the onion. Bye-bye, John, and maybe I should put my antenna south from time to time. HB9ASQ clear and QS1.
This is Delta Foxtrot 1, Quebec Hotel, DF1QH calling you. Yeah, this is Delta Foxtrot number 1, Quebec Hotel, DF1QH, over. The last letter is hotel. Delta Foxtrot 1, Quebec Hotel, over. EI4ITDF1QH returning. I've got a very good copy on you. 59 plus, you see a report in the northwestern part of Germany. And my name is Klaus, Kilo Lima Alpha, Uniform Sierra Klaus. I'm just running 200 watts into a 5 element 3-band beam, 12 meters above the soil. And the radio that I'm using is a Mark 5. And I'm copying you really well. So over to you. Has become even larger. You see, I retired 2 weeks ago, and I've got all the time I need for my hobby, and that is really great, I can tell you. And it's glad to know that when you wake up in the morning, you're free to choose to do whatever you feel like doing. And it's much different from the time before I retired. And I'm just wondering if you have retired as well, or do you still work, over? sounds marvelous to me. I was in Ireland 3 years ago, and I visited a friend of mine, and I got to know him from contacts on UHF. So the strange thing is that I'm responsible for a theater in the Harz Mountains at 950 meters above sea level. And whenever propagation is good enough, I can hear repeat on the same frequency on Mount Leste. I think that's the name of this hill. Anyway, the frequencies are just inverted. So whenever propagation is good enough, there is a kind of feedback with the repeater. So that is how we got to know each other. And so I decided to just give him a plane and contact Alan. And I can tell you, I met very, very nice people over there in Ireland. And it was a great experience. You see, life often has lots of surprises for you. And I imagine that you enjoy working outside, enjoying the fresh air. And I hope that your health will permit you to go working for many, many more years. DI4ITDF1QH. For the nice chat this morning, and say hello to YXYL, and of course enjoy your cup of tea. EI4ITDF1QH, off and clear then, goodbye. Okay, 73, and this is DF1QH, just standing by for any possible calls. Italy Kilo 8, Hotel Bravo Alpha. I will have to turn the antenna around on you. Just a minute. Let me turn the antenna on you. Hopefully the signal strength will increase a little bit then. Thanks a lot for giving me a call. Delta Foxtrot 1, Quebec Hotel DF1QH. Name is Klaus, Kilo Lima Alpha, Uniform Sierra, and DDH is in the northwestern part of Germany. And I'm not sure if you got it all. And microphone over to you.
Hold. Quebec Hotel, this is India Kilo 8 Hotel Bravo Alpha. Flight 9, solid signal here in Central Italy. My name is Luca Lima Uniform Charlie, Bristol Channel, and I'm located on the Adriatic coast. How do you copy? DF1QH, India Kilo 8 Hotel Bravo Alpha.
Kilometers south of Hanover, and I'm using 200 watts from even much light and weather report from my place this morning. It's a lovely and sunny summer day, and hopefully it will stay like that for a while. In your Kilo 8, Hotel Bravo Alpha, you have the Fox 1 Quebec Hotel.
Very close. Solid signal 59 plus here.
and the antenna is an end-fed antenna. So I'm testing the equipment. I have some problems with RF in the station on 20. So I don't know if now solved. Please give me something about my voice. The weather conditions here are very nice. Temperature over 30 degrees centigrade with a fresh wind this morning. We have had 42 degrees, very, very hot I'm located on the sea, by the sea, in the Adriatic coast. So back to you, Klaus. DS1 and 2 Kilo 8 Hotel Bravo Alpha.
The problem is that your audio sounds a little bit distorted, and maybe it's due to some radio frequency getting different from the antenna. Just a different you're right, your audio sounds a little bit distorted, but it's 32.5, over.
Yeah, okay, Klaus. Okay. Yes, I'm working with the ground system now. So I'm doing something to improve the ground system of my station. Okay, Klaus. I thank you very much for the contact and for the information. Thank you very much and hope to meet you once again on the air. DS1QH, this is India Hotel Bravo Alpha 73s and good luck.
Okay, and the nice test. Good luck. We have solved the problem. So this is from Germany. IKA, DS1QH.
Okay, Klaus, bye-bye.
Thank you.